VPRC, welcome back to another video. In this one, I'll be taking you guys through the top things to consider when buying a fridge here in Kenya. For this video, I'll be using this fridge from Ramtons that we have reviewed in our previous video. It's the RF173. It was bought in 2020. I'm doing this video now in 2022, so it's 2 years old and it's still fully functional, no issues whatsoever. And yeah, I'll be using it to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about, as well as another LG fridge that we have reviewed also before. Without wasting any more time, let us begin. The things I'm listing are in no particular order. Ideally, you want to consider them all together and you'll get the best fridge that will suit your specific needs. Let us begin. The first thing to consider is the capacity of the fridge. This specific fridge has a capacity of 128 liters, and capacity just means how much the fridge can hold. So as you can see, inside it has a lot of space, which is enough for most households of 1 to 2 people. So if you have a larger household, definitely consider going for a fridge that has a bigger capacity. That will be better for your specific needs. The second thing that you should consider when buying a fridge here in Kenya is the design. When it comes to the design, the specific things to consider is if you want a 2-door fridge or a 1-door fridge. This Ramtons is a 2-door fridge. I'll show you guys a 1-door fridge shortly. 2-door fridges are more efficient than 1-door fridges because if you want to access the freezer, you don't have to open the lower compartment. So that just helps conserve energy as opposed to a 1-door fridge where when you open, the whole inside section is exposed to the air, which reduces the efficiency, and they also use more power due to that fact. And aside from a single door and a double door, you can also get a bottom freezer. There are fridges that have the option the freezer is at the bottom and the fridge compartment is at the top. If you're someone who has an issue with their back, definitely consider a fridge that has the freezer at the bottom, because most people don't access the freezer section that often. It will save your back. And you can also opt for a side-by-side, where instead of having the top bottom, you just have 2 doors that are side by side. Those ones are larger, and if you are looking for a larger capacity, definitely consider those 2 doors. Again, they have the advantage where you don't have to access the freezer unless you need to if you're accessing just the fridge. So they are power efficient, and they also help in terms of storing and just arranging your whole fridge. Aside from the bottom freezer and the side-by-side door, you can also get a French door. A French door is just a very high-end bottom freezer that instead of having 1 door at the top, it has 2 doors at the top. So you have your freezer at the bottom and you have 2 doors to open 2 separate sections at the top for the French door. Basically, that's it for the design. Just consider if you want a single door or a double door, or you want the more expensive French doors and side-by-side doors. We'll finish off the video using this single door LG fridge that we've also reviewed in our previous video. So let me just show you how it looks inside. And as you can see, it has a single door and a freezer compartment at the top, as well as the fridge compartment at the bottom. So it's still fully functional, no issues. We also have a section for putting the eggs here, and also some other storage options down here. So it's quite spacious. Just if you guys, let me just go down. Yeah, so as you can see, it's spacious. You have the vegetables section at the bottom. It's quite spacious. The disadvantage with the single door that we mentioned before is that when you open the door, the whole entire fridge is exposed to the air, which reduces the efficiency and also leads to a higher power consumption. So let me just close it for now. And that brings us to the next thing that you need to consider when buying a fridge here in Kenya, and that is the features. When it comes to features, there are so many features that manufacturers sell to people. Just depends on the specific model that you will come across, but the main things that you need to consider when it comes to the features is, number one, do you want a frost-free fridge, or are you okay with a direct cooling fridge? What that means is, for frost-free, the freezer doesn't have any ice buildup. So let me just show you using this fridge. This fridge is not a frost-free fridge. It is a direct cooling fridge. As you can see, it has ice buildup, which needs to be defrosted after some time, depending on how heavily I use it. For a frost-free fridge, you do not have that limitation of needing to defrost, because it uses a different cooling mechanism as opposed to the direct cooling. Now, due to that specific mechanism that a frost-free fridge uses, it might be a bit more power hungry, because that mechanism is not as power saving as the one for a direct cooling fridge. And I will leave a link to an article that we have done on our website that goes into more detail regarding all those factors to consider when buying a fridge here in Kenya. So aside from determining whether you want the frost-free or direct cooling, another thing that you need to consider is the energy rating for the fridge. That is the energy star rating. That just gives you an indication of how efficient the fridge will be and how much power it will consume. I will also leave a link to the article that we have done going into more details regarding energy star rating in Kenya. Mostly those will be the two major features that you'll be considering. That is frost-free versus direct cooling, as well as determining the energy star rating. There are still more features that you can consider, such as a water dispenser, an ice maker, additional storage. It largely depends if you have a specific feature in mind that you must have. Just make sure you consider any of those features that are must-haves for you, and those ones that you can live without. The last thing that we will go through that you need to consider when buying a fridge in Kenya is the price. So the other things that we have spoken about, the capacity, the design, the features, they are all tied to how much money you're willing to spend and how deep your pockets are. The more money you have, the more options you'll have available, and the more features, as well as the better designs and the more capacity you can get. I will first advise that you determine how much you are willing to spend on a fridge, and from there, now you can just come up with any specific features or designs or a capacity that you think is appropriate for your specific needs. And I will also touch on the issue of the specific brand when it comes to fridges here in Kenya. LG and Samsung are the premium brands in the market, and those ones are more expensive. The likes of Ramtoms and Von Hotpoints have affordable options, as well as Mika. And aside from the affordable options, they also have mid-priced and also high-end models that also offer decent features. I will leave links down in the description just to give you an idea of the different types of fridges that you can get in Kenya. But for anyone who's thinking of buying a fridge, just make sure you consider the capacity, the design, the features, the price, and also the model, or rather the brand that you'll be comfortable living with. And if you have any questions, just leave them down in the comments below, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Like the video and subscribe, and bye for now.